All right, Liam. So let's just start off with Montreal Canadiens. You're a huge Canadiens fan. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so coming over, I met my wife. She's Canadian. She spent a little time in Quebec City growing up and then grew up in Ohio. But yeah, we got into a little bit of hockey, and she was a junior Olympian figure skater, so she's like, hockey's the natural progression. She tried to get me into a man sport where they actually let to hit each other. So I went with that and started following, but I just didn't have a team. It's just like, look, you need a team. So she's like, this is the team that if I'm going to go for a team, I'm going to go for Montreal. So I started going Montreal. It's the worst decision she ever made because now I watch every game. I have multiple jerseys at home, and it's turned into a little bit of an obsession.
Okay, so do you have, outside of the Canadiens, do you have three favorite like hockey players that you like to watch and see the highlights from, or just is
I
anybody?
mean, if you're not talking about Connor McDavid, I think you're doing the game an injustice. But I think it's a lot of it's McDavid. I love goalies, so it's Hellbjerg is up there as well. And then from my time with Oakland, I think Logan Couture is one of the ones that I really like a lot. But then you go into the defense, and it's like you got the Brent Burns, you've got the Shea Webbers, you've got kind of all those guys with the big shots from the D-line that are just throwing people into the boards. I love the way Josh Anderson plays currently because he just throws people around, which I think is fantastic for the way the Montreal game's going.
All right, so MLB to show the video game. When you saw yourself on a video game for the first time, what did you think?
Well, so the first time I looked at it, I was like, my stats on the video game are way better than they actually are in person. And then as it's going progressing on, it's like they keep giving me a two-seam. Haven't thrown a two-seam fastball a game since May of 2019. Somehow that keeps getting into the game. I have no idea how. But that and the fact that my curveball is now a knuckle curve rather than a regular curve, they haven't quite made that adjustment yet. But other than that, it's a lot of that. And I suck at hitting in the game, which I feel like that I need to dispute that a little bit. Even though I hadn't had an at-bat since 2015, I feel like there's something we can work on in that.
Okay, so outside of MLB the show, do you actually play video games outside of that, or what is your favorite game?
Currently, it's Formula One, so F1 2021
I like that.
or F1 2020. So I'm F1 fan. Daniel Ricciardo's from my hometown, so I kind of have that little bit of a thing going, but I really got back into it after the Drive to Survive series on Netflix started and watched that during quarantine, and I've been running with that ever since. But yeah, a lot of that, a lot of hockey, and then generally the campaign. So there's the Assassin's Creed Valhalla right now, and waiting for Horizon Zero Dawn, the second one coming out of that, which I love the first one. I played that one through a few times, but generally a lot of sports games, and then the campaigns, which I'm able to do offline a little bit.
All right, so if you could be on a video game, not MLB the show, but they take Liam Hendriks and they put you on a video game, what video game would you want to be on? This is any video game. It could be Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto 6 maybe, or what would it be?
God of War.
Oh, so you want to be the...
I think I don't know if I could quite be Aloy, but I could be a little bit character that you meet with one of the, especially with the next one coming out with the Norse gods again. So I feel like you could be a little up there with that.
Okay, so growing up, who are some of your favorite baseball players? Or like, did you have? I know it probably was batters because you probably played the field as well. But who were some
for
of
me,
your
I
players?
grew up in Australia, so we didn't get too many games over there. So one of my favorite players watching was Chris Carpenter from the Cardinals back in the day. And being able to watch him pitch, we were both right-handers, both had four-seam with curveballs kind of deal. And I just gravitated towards that. But for whatever reason in Australia, we get a lot of Cardinals games. So the Cardinals guys tended to be the ones that I focused a lot more on. And then I was a big Boston Red Sox fan, purely based on the fact that everyone in Australia knew who the Yankees were, but no one really knew who the Red Sox were.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So your baseball moment, your big baseball moment. So the first time you got on the field, who was the first batter that you said, oh my God, I'm actually facing this guy?
Well, so my debut was actually against the White Sox when I was with the Twins. First batter I faced was Juan Pierre. So that was a good one because obviously he's got at that point, this is 2011, so he'd been around for a while at that point. I think the biggest one was probably Adam Dunn. He's the first guy I ever put on base. I look up, and in Minnesota they got a fun facts board in right field, and it said Adam Dunn is the only player in Major League Baseball history to hit a ball out of a state. Because when he was in Cincinnati, he hit into the river, which is Kentucky. So, but yeah, I still remember a lot from that debut game. But my first strikeout was AJ Pierzynski. First hit was Alejandro De Aza, which scored Adam Dunn, unfortunately. The first homer I gave up was Alex Rios.
Yeah, you know all this stuff. That's good.
You tend to remember the things like that, and I've given up enough homers now that I can remember a few of them.
Well, I mean, look, man, the accolades are there, man. You've been doing your thing. So last question. If you could have a walk-up song or a song you come out the bullpen to close the game out, it could be any artist, and the song is called Liam Hendriks. Who would be the artist?
Ooh, you're going to get any artist. I think it has to be It's a toss-up for me between Queen and AC/DC. Obviously, if we could revive Freddie Mercury for that, I think it'd be unbelievable. And then, yeah, AC/DC is something that's special, near and dear to my heart from being from Australia. But currently, I come out to a mix of Queen, Rage Against the Machine, Prodigy, and Skrillex. So
I like that.
I got a little bit of a mix going, but something old school, something a little hair metal-y, and I think that's the way to go.
All right, appreciate you.